question. Do you know what we commemorate in the year 2026? Think about that for a moment. The year after this coming year. What do we remember? Hopefully, you'll remember something. You may say, I'm baffled. Or you may say, and this is very understandable, that 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, of our liberty. And I know there's going to be a lot done during that time to help us be mindful of that. What does it mean to be truly patriotic? What does it mean as one nation, even with our differences, to seek to understand and help one another? What does it mean as a country to care about the global community with all that we can bring to it? What does it mean as a country that we can foster greater peace and justice, especially in attitudes toward one another, and genuine concern for the poor among us and the most vulnerable? 2026. Now, you get extra credit if you said this or thought this. Some may have. 2026 is the 800th anniversary of the death of Francis of Assisi, whose really death day. In the Catholic tradition, often we think of the birthday as the birth into everlasting life, which is a beautiful way to reflect on it. And for St. Francis, that year was 1226, 800 years ago, this coming year of 26. So, kind of, we might say, well, gee, those seem to be two separate realities that year. Our nation's independence and the death and new life of Francis of Assisi. In another way, we should know this in our Catholic tradition, there's one God who creates us all and somehow wants to bring us together in various ways, especially around who are we as a nation, and who are we as a Catholic and Christian faith community? And I think these two can tie in. When we talk about our nation, obviously we're talking about our liberty. And even today, we pray for the liberty, the freedom of all nations around the world, not to be taken over by any other nation. And hopefully we remember what a gift it is that we exercise our freedom wisely, that we treasure the freedom that we have to vote and the responsibility for all to have that opportunity. That's important. Freedom is foundational. At the same time, when we talk about St. Francis, we maybe don't always think of him this way, but he too came to an experience of freedom in his life, and his freedom that he kept going, grounded in his spirituality, grounded in his vital living relationship with Jesus Christ. Many of you know some of this, just briefly mentioned. When he was a young adult, like a lot of young adults, he was carefree. He would go about with whatever he wanted to do. And that was his attitude. He went through some significant conversions. One was meeting a leper along the way and embracing him and sensing that was what the Lord was calling him to do. Another was in the chapel of San Damiano, hearing the Lord, the crucifix, saying, build my church, rebuild my church. But it starts with our own attitude. How are we with each other? How are we with our environment? Do we recognize one another and the environment as sacred to care about, not to be indifferent to, and certainly even in our human relationships, not to be hostile to, but to be and get people who follow the way of peace, the way of love for everything, for everyone. God gave us all of this as a gift. We need to realize it's a gift and really genuinely care. God bless you. Think of what we can all do, just even some small way, to make our planet and our people a little more part of what we make a difference to help to be what God is calling all of us to be, partners, to partner with him in making the human family and creation sacred and beautiful the way he intended it to be for all time. God bless you.